Today, the FIFA World Cup is watched by billions of people across the globe. Nations stop, streets fall silent, legends are born. But nearly a century ago, the world's greatest football tournament almost never happened. Most European teams refused to attend. The journey took weeks across the Atlantic Ocean. Some believed the tournament would be a complete failure. So how did a small country called Uruguay become the birthplace of football's biggest competition? This is the story of the first FIFA World Cup. At the beginning of the 20th century, football was growing faster than anyone could have imagined. Across Europe, clubs attracted thousands of supporters every weekend. Professional leagues were emerging, and football was becoming more than just a game. It was becoming a profession. Yet international football had a problem. The Olympic Games only allowed amateur players to compete. Many of the world's best footballers were professionals, which meant they could not represent their countries at the Olympics. FIFA believed football deserved its own global tournament, where every nation could send its strongest team. The idea was bold. No sport had ever attempted a worldwide championship on this scale. In 1928, while athletes gathered in Amsterdam for the Olympic Games, football's future was quietly being rewritten. FIFA officials met to discuss a revolutionary idea. They voted to create a brand new international competition. It would be called the FIFA World Cup. The next question was simple, but incredibly important. Which country would host the first tournament? Surprisingly, the honor did not go to England, France, Italy, or Germany. Instead, FIFA selected Uruguay. At the time, Uruguay was one of the strongest football nations in the world. They had won Olympic gold medals in both 1924 and 1928, defeating Europe's finest teams. The year 1930 also marked the 100th anniversary of Uruguay's independence. To celebrate, the government promised to build a magnificent new stadium in the capital city of Montevideo. The decision made perfect sense to FIFA, but not everyone agreed. For European teams, reaching Uruguay was a challenge unlike anything they had faced before. There were no commercial passenger flights capable of transporting entire football teams across the Atlantic. The only realistic option was to travel by sea. The voyage would take around 2 weeks each way, forcing players to spend nearly a month away from home. Clubs were reluctant to release their players. National football associations questioned whether the journey was worth it. One after another, European nations declined the invitation. Eventually, only 4 European teams agreed to make the historic voyage: France, Belgium, Romania, and Yugoslavia. Together, they boarded ships and crossed thousands of kilometers of open ocean to reach South America. On July 13, 1930, history was made. 13 nations participated in the first FIFA World Cup. 7 came from South America, 4 from Europe, 2 from North America. Crowds filled the stadiums, eager to witness an event unlike anything football had seen before. Every match represented a new chapter in sporting history. On July 30, 1930, 2 fierce rivals met in the final. Uruguay faced neighboring Argentina in Montevideo. The rivalry between the two nations was so intense that finding a referee became a serious concern. To avoid further controversy, the referee accepted the assignment only after receiving assurances for his safety. Even the match ball became a subject of disagreement. Argentina insisted on using its own ball. Uruguay wanted theirs. A compromise was reached. The first half would be played with the Argentine ball, the second half with Uruguay's. Argentina led 2-1 at halftime, but backed by a passionate home crowd, Uruguay staged a remarkable comeback. They scored 3 unanswered goals. The final whistle blew. Uruguay 4, Argentina 2. Football had its first world champion. Few could have imagined what had just begun. The tournament that many European nations had ignored would grow into the world's biggest sporting event. From just 13 teams in 1930 to dozens of nations competing today, the FIFA World Cup has become a celebration watched by billions, and it all started with one bold idea and one unforgettable tournament in Uruguay. If you enjoyed this journey into football history, subscribe for more animated history documentaries. Next time, we'll explore another fascinating story from the past, one map at a time.